That was your best swing I've ever seen you make with a wedge right there. Straight up. Like, that was ridiculous. When you're taking lessons and you're working on your game and you're finishing 3 shots underneath your handicap,
That's great.
That's what you should be doing. That's what we should be doing, right? So give me up to date though with just, how, like, what did you notice out there playing, little competition? Did you, anything that stuck out to you that you're like, dude, I really definitively need to work on that?
Wedges.
Wedges.
Wedges were just, the numbers were not there. Like, now I was trying to get stuff real tight because we felt in the scramble that we needed to put it close, you know what I mean, score points, everything. And so I just noticed that I was just not having my wedges there. So I've been working on them a lot.
You know what's really funny? We made a, I want to pull you back here just for a second. I want to show you this. Made a post last night. Like, I was sitting there on the couch last night. I'm like, you know what? I was looking at some videos of Tyler, and I was looking at some videos, and I was just like, that's just way too good to not put up right now. And I just want you to pay attention as this video plays over and over. His wrist action. Watch the wrist the entire time. There's just zero movement. And why don't I do this? Why don't I actually pull up the actual video so we can slow it down here? Okay, now watch this. So as soon as he gets into the set position right here, his wrists are completely done. And I want you to watch this. The only way this is possible is through moving the center of his body and hands together, right? So he's turning with his hands. He's keeping his hands right in front of his sternum. And this is the part that's so impressive right here. I mean, look at his hands, how they just don't move at all the entire time. Now, that's what I want to work on with you today. All right. If we were to look at our swing right now, Doug, we have a little bit of this action here where the golf club gets, boom, like kind of, too much of the wrist cup, too much angle right there. Okay. I would call it this. I wouldn't even call it too much hinge. I would call it too much late set. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to work on the set position, work on the structure of these wrists and how we just get them to be in the right spot. Now, anything we do, and I was just having this, we're talking about this with Gasper earlier, anything we do, we're going to use the body to get there. It's not going to be a manipulation of the hands. So when you see players trying to manipulate their hands and their angles, I mean, that's to me devastating because now you're moving the small muscles independently of the body. So remember that while we work on flattening this wrist and getting it in the right spot, every time you do that, we're going to be using the back of that left shoulder and your body's turn to drive it, okay? Say that up front. Now, let's do this together. Go ahead and step right side by side here. Dude, those shoes are so sweet. I mean, those shoes, this guy with the gear. All right, so let's watch this here. We're gonna go with the thumbs. They're not just going straight up to where you cup your wrists and hinge, right? Okay. You're gonna go at a 45-degree angle here. So when you watch this, as my body's turning, see I'm pushing that where the butt of the club's pointed right on the inside of my left hip. There you go. So when you're here, what's nice is now your left shoulder keeps turning exactly. See how your wrist is just where it needs to be? Yeah. Now what's cool is when you keep turning, the weight of the club is just gonna keep it.
It'll flatten it.
So my whole point to you is this. People don't need to feel, you don't need to feel like you're sitting here bowing it. Look what happens. That club just snatches and gets right behind me. Right. The minute that happens to the average golfer and not a guy like DJ, right, or Vic Hovland who really have it sequenced properly, they start doing this stuff and the club just gets further behind them. All right, well, here's my play. We just really simplify this motion and be very literal. Yes, there's the thought, even Hogan said it, of backing the handle away. Great, some people need to feel that. Yeah, there's the thought of knuckles down, flattening the wrist. Great, some people I'm sure need to feel that. But there's the one way that brings it all back to where it needs to be, and that's the left shoulder driving the hand back, feeling that hinge happening with a little bit of downward pressure into the heel pad. Okay, so you can see I'm taking that leverage that I have here, and I'm just applying a little pressure down that heel pad, and I'm pointing the club right to the inside of my left hip. So I have some simple checkpoints for myself. Butt of the club points to the inside of the left hip as my hands pass my right foot. I know that at that point, if you looked at it, the club would be just outside of down the line of my feet. Do you see that? There's down the line of my feet. Right. Why would I practice it just outside? You know me well enough. Why am I practicing it just outside?
Just so that you don't get it.
Exactly right, because the minute you open the door and turn, boom, that thing goes right back.
If you're here, you're going to end up here.
Exactly right. Yeah. So Dougie, I just want to make sure today you just do a little better job. Let's set the angle. Let's make sure we're setting it in the right direction. That will then relay into by the time I turn, watch, it goes right up the plane, and the weight of that club just puts it right where that wrist needs to be. Now here's the moneymaker. The ability to attack the problem area. What people don't see in that Instagram post was that Tyler was spending the first 30 minutes of his lesson going like this. They see Tyler striping it, right? Tyler's working on striping it. Tyler's working on it like this. I mean, do you see how effortless that was right there? And all that was happening, and here's the key. Here's the key, though. Once I got the set position where it needed to be, my sternum, exactly, my sternum is looking at my hands the entire time. All that means is that my body is turning my hands to the top and in transition. To the top and in transition. But here's the kicker. The minute the hands start to part ways with the body's center, the club and the hands are doing something isolated from the body, and that's where a myriad of things could happen. Yeah. Right? So the whole point is, and they do. So let's make sure today, let's have a plan. Let's get the set position dialed. Grab like a wedge first. Okay. Set position dialed. We're then going to take the set position, turn it right to the top with connection. We're going to attack the problem area. So once we get into this set position and it's flat right there, I'm then going to work with you on just making sure you have the ability to just pump it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then just keep that same exact efficiency throughout the swing, okay?
Perfect.
So show me that set position again. Here we go. Yes. Let's go low. By the way, hey, did you just get that all dialed in on the bag right there?
Yeah.
So sweet.
Yeah.
You gotta like give him a peek. This my man Doug just does it right though. Like he's just always got the sweet tags, you know, from some of the cool golf courses.
No.
They're not.
I took everything off.
Oh.
The 2 tags I have now.
Dude.
That's it.
The only 2 you need though.
Yeah.
Your home club, the farms.
Home club and Porzak.
Come on, it's my guy.
That's
It's my guy. But he's got the Mizunos. I mean, come on. Those are some of the epic irons right there. Yeah. What else has I got in here?
This is my new club. This is the monster.
This is the club that kind of ticks me off. Okay, no, hey, nothing against Cobra. I'm all about Cobra. But he's got, what is this, like 55 inches and in 3 degrees on it.
Look at this thing.
7.5 degrees. Just, what is it, like 40 what?
It's 65. 65, it's
How long is it?
That's normally.
Oh, you didn't go nuts with it?
Crazy. I didn't go crazy. But it's LA Golf. It goes on video. Shout out to my buddy Brian Golf. He does great clubs. And I'm already ripping this thing, but yeah, this is the club that you and I were laughing about.
We gotta do a little what's in the bag.
We'll have to hit a couple of them.
We'll do a little what's in the bag. He's got good stuff, man. He's got that Strixon 2 iron. I've seen a lot of my pros even play this one. They love that. The Gabe Golf tool. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
This is a great one for rhythm, right? Get it up to the top. Boom. Great drilled. Drill there. Those irons are pure though. Bag's pure. So give me a little stop go here, Doug. I want to see like a little stop go. Yeah, I like that. Yep. The most important thing right now, be unbelievably literal with how you're going about it. So watch, we're going to go right here to the set position, which is the club gets higher than the hands, but the hands are lower than your right pocket in your mind. Does that make sense? Remember that pushing the beach ball away? Yep. That look. Now the wrist is flat. Now watch, chest and hands, chest and hands, chest and hands, and then feel the same connection right through. So lower than the pocket. Perfect right there, dude. And see how much you want to, how hard it is for you. You go like this, you get here and you just go. You literally stop it there and then all of a sudden you just go right on up.
Yes.
Stop it right here. Literally just stop it in the money spot so we can guarantee you have the set position right. Because every time you do it, you'll roll it inside a little bit more. There. Now watch. It's the set position's down here. Elbow's more connected to your body, like more in this way. So that would be the downswing. I'm talking backswing. You're right here. We're just trying to go right here, no higher. Boom. There's a set position. Get your elbow touching your left arm practically. There's your set position. Okay. Do you feel how that right there could hit the golf ball? Yes. Keep it right there. Turn that a little bit more to the top. Rehearse that right back down to the ball, and you can feel it. See, that's what we're talking about. There you go, dude. Oh, well, of course, right? I had you up there in an awkward position for literally 40 seconds, and you're able to turn through and hit that low and tight.
Yeah, I love that. So that's just tightening up a little bit on my backswing.
Absolutely. All I want you to know is every single time we let you go, and Gabe and I have got a good angle on you back here, if we just let you go, the tendency every time is this. Underneath, and then up and around, rather than, hey, let's guarantee we get this in the right spot. We're missing out on the 45 degrees here, right? Guarantee. My mentor, Todd Sones, had me do one thing. This was really cool. He would always take, this was really kind of a neat one right here. It was just so thoughtful. He would get the feet there. Go ahead and step into that with your toes up against that. He'd take this right from the back heel, and you stick it right in line with the toe, and you go, Adam, you need to just hinge the club in that direction. Does that make sense? So think about that. That's that 45 degrees when you're turning that the club should actually be.
Got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. It's weird because you got to feel it out there and then combine it with the turn. There we go, Doug. Did you feel that? That was money right there. That was so much better right there.
That felt great.
So for our viewer, a lot of my followers, when they hear club in front of hands. Club in front of hands, hands in front of body. You know, those are two components of connection, two of our three. He's working on the club staying in front of his hands, right? The club in front of hands is that club staying out this way, knowing the body's turn is going to move it back here already. So he gets this position. It's already hitting it better over here. This position, taking away the degrees that the club's inside and behind us. The more we're out here, the more then he can now keep his hands in front of his body and just turn it to the top. And we're trying to work this position and be able to then turn right through. That's where there's no manipulation there.
I love
This is so good, isn't it?
It feels so good.
I just want perfect rehearsals from you today, my man. There we go. Dude, that was awesome right there. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Feel that?
Yep. Just
driving that club right down on top of it, huh?
Yeah, it just makes you want to drive into the ground. And you know, my big thing is that I lift up, you know what I mean?
And here's the thing, and that's the thing with Doug. This is so big for people to understand too. Watch this, old takeaway. And I know you've seen this before. Right, now watch. I turn and face my body. Whoa. That's how far that club is behind me, and all that manipulation that now has to be made up. And you know what the body's way of doing that is, besides just flipping the wrist? Standing up, straightening up, and giving the club time to get back in front. But if we have that club out in front, hands in front of body, now we can move it all together down the line. Oh, dude. Beautiful, Doug. So what's the goal of the session besides just connecting the swing? It's making sure our wrists are quiet, right? Yeah. We're getting a position right here. I mean, you got to be real literal with this, my man. It's like getting it right here and getting the set position and saying, wait, I'm just going to turn this, and I'm just going to turn this. And that's what Tyler was really getting down when I was showing you guys that earlier. That was your best swing I've ever seen you make with a wedge right there. Straight up. Like, that was ridiculous. That flight right there is going to get you the same yardage every time, too, if you can just keep that going.
I mean, it makes it almost...
Did this make sense to you, though, this whole, like, visual right here? Of just kind of, you know, you can sit there and you can literally just put something like that, you know, there without having to do much, and it just gives you kind of an idea of the angle the club needs to feel like it sets for you.
I love it. I mean,
yeah. Dude. It's so much better. Now let's make this one step better, because you know what's coming. You're never gonna have a lesson me where I'm not gonna talk about how you rotate through the golf ball, right?
That just doesn't happen with you and me.
Doesn't happen with you and me. And it never will, man. Like, we're gonna keep at this.
Always be rotating.
Always be rotating. I love that. You know what's funny about that, by the way? We have a doctor that always comes and sees us. You know, shout out to Bob. He's just one of the greatest guys, and he's really helping us a lot. You know, he's written a lot of manuscripts. And what's nice is he's helping us organize ours and write our book with us. And he just helps us identify what our key terms are. Right. He's like, hey, you say this all the time. He reminds me of it, and it's really cool. So, you know, always be rotating. That's not a, that's a Porzak thing that then was turned into a Doc thing. Doc came up with ABR.
I love it.
It's so cool. But hey, it's great to remember ABR, always be rotating. Yeah. Shout out to Doc. And here's a big thing with connection. We can't always be rotating. Now, here's the thing. That low tight ball flight you see there is a combination of two things.
Thank you guys so much for watching our video. Any questions or comments you have, please leave them below. Also, click the link below to pick up 3 free videos. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy our channel.